What is something illegal you have done and got away without getting caught? I stole my own car from the tow impound lot. Best part was getting the certified letter months later that they were going to auction it if I didn't come and pay for it. You should have gone back with the letter and demanded to see the car. Oh my god. Would they be liable for losing your car? Is this the perfect fraud? Edit. Commenters have notified me that this is not in fact a perfect crime and is very likely you will be caught. Do not do this. They might find out it was him though. Probably better to quit while you're ahead. Probably a stolen vehicle report would need to be filed, and if you get pulled over in a stolen vehicle that just so happens to be yours, that would reveal the fraud. Since this is a high up comment, I want to take a second to advertise that I got to go home early from work cause I sneezed and shit myself. Have a wonderful day guys. Now that the thread is sorted Ed, I work as a material handler at a cardboard company. I use a reach truck all day. Some people probably know them as stand-up forklifts. I was already having diarrhea issues throughout the day, but some dust on a pallet got kicked in the air and it made me sneeze at a bad time. I found it extremely hilarious and I nonchalantly told the forklift lead I'm heading home, I just shit myself. He started laughing and wheezing, but he said, okay dude, see ya. I then go to my actual boss and tell him, hey Brian, is it cool if I take off now? Yeah, that's fine, but do you mind me asking why? I had diarrhea all day and I sneezed and shit myself. Haha, W, what? And at this point he has that smirk but confused look on his face. I don't know how to simplify it more than that, dude. I shit myself and need to go home and change. He bursts out laughing and just tells me I can feel free to take the rest of the day off since I have diarrhea. This morning I found a note on my forklift warning second and third shift not to use my lift since I shit myself. I'm now known as the dude who shits himself. But that's okay cause no one will touch my stuff. When I went backpacking through Europe I bought an airsoft pistol in Italy. A replica Beretta 92 FS, nickel plated. It looked real. It was heavy. I could have pointed it at you and you would think it was real. Because I'm a fucking idiot, I decided to bring it home to Canada with me. I packed it in my checked baggage, big backpack, and didn't think anything of it until I arrived back in Toronto and was asked to put my bag in the X-ray machine at customs. At this point I realized, holy fuck, I'm bringing a gun into the country. Replica handguns are completely illegal. I would have been in a shitload of trouble, and I started to panic. Lucky me, I remembered exactly how I had packed the pistol, so when I laid the bag on the conveyor belt, I laid it down so that the X-ray wouldn't see the profile of the pistol. When the bag went through the machine, you could clearly see the gun, but it was at an angle facing away, so rather than a pistol shape, it was just a metal rectangle. The inspection agent / guy / whatever stopped the belt, pointed directly at the chunk of metal and said, what's that? I looked him dead in the eye and said, it's a toy. The next few seconds felt like an eternity. I could feel my pulse pounding in my neck. I was terrified, but then he just said, okay, welcome home, and let me go. I retrieved my bag, walked into the main terminal, then went and threw up in the nearest garbage can. Yay, I was dumb, but I got away with it. Edit. I've been informed that these airsoft pistols are not, in fact, illegal. My entire life is a sham. The summer after I graduated high school, my best friend and I bought season passes to Six Flags and decided to go every day because it was only an hour plus away. A week or two into our summer, Six Flags introduced their fast passes. We immediately bought them, jumped the line, and were hooked. This was going to be the best summer of our lives, but the fast passes were like $20 each, which adds up if you're going every day. Luckily for us, the stupid idiots printed them on business cards and punched out a hole when you rode. So we just printed our own at home on my friend's dad's super nice printer and rode the shit out of every ride we could. We started making friends with the ride operators, and they'd start telling us what color the ink would be the next week, so we could stay ahead of the law and the suckers in line. After 2 months or so, they started printing them on plastic, but I worked at a plastic factory that used plastic sheeting that was the same thickness, and we were still able to print them if I cut the sheets down to size. We got to ride the rest of the summer out in style. But the next year they introduced the Tamagotchi looking fast passes, and I knew that I'd been beaten. It was the best summer of my life, and it was really thrilling to feel like I was getting away with something that was technically illegal, but also was a completely victimless crime. Stole a Blue Angels flag from the hangar they were parked in. When I was in the Navy, the Blue Angels visited the air base I was stationed at. They proceeded to kick all of our planes out of our hangar, and I had to fix our birds out in the rain. In a fit of contempt, on the last day they were there, I went into the mess and stole the flag hanging from the overhead beams. I still have the flag and wear it like a cape from time to time. Thievery of other units' shit is a tradition in the military. While it may have been illegal, it sure as shit isn't discouraged. There's no such thing as stealing in the military. We tactically acquire. If they don't want their crayons stolen, they should have posted up a guard. Found the one Marine and the Blue Angels. I once overslept for an oral English exam. So I forged the letter I received with a date and moved it to following week. Showed it to my English teacher, and she said it was probably a mistake, but I had to show it to the school dean as well to get approval for a reschedule. I showed the forged letter to him, and he instantly found a mistake I made in the letter and just casually said that the letter looked badly copied. I was sweating bullets at that point, because forging a letter for an exam is a pretty harsh offense and could have gotten me suspended. But he just shrugged it off and gave me permission for a reschedule. I guess since I wasn't a troublemaker, he just gave me a pass. The dean was one of the cooler teachers at school though. He loved SpongeBob, and if he gave you detention work, you had to make a SpongeBob figure with a sponge and such. I had a somewhat similar situation. I ordered a book for a course and discovered upon arrival that it was the instructor's edition with all the answers. So I just used that, breezed through class. So just before the final, the professor calls me out on it, tells me it's considered plagiarism, told me she was going to report me to the dean and get me expelled. I go to the dean myself that day and explain the situation. He sighs, closes his eyes, and starts rubbing his temples. Now I think I'm in for it. God, she is such a bitch. I wish they'd let me fire her. He says finally. He didn't care. He decided that, since I was able to pass the midterms, and if I could pass the final on my own without the book, then who cares where I got the homework answers from. He also said there is not one time in your professional life that you won't have access to research materials. It's ludicrous to think otherwise. She was not happy and made sure to tell me, after I had aced my final, that if she ever saw my name on the roster for one of her classes, that she'd personally see that I never got in. Told her that was up to the dean, and she was 0 for 1 right now on that front. Told her that was up to the dean, and she was 0 for 1 right now on that front. How big are your fucking balls, man? I'm just here looking for the comment that says murder, murder, suicide. Now that takes talent to get away with. I was visiting the beach, and when walking home with a friend from a bar at 4 AM on a Sunday night, we came across a jet ski on the beach, being bounced around by the waves. My friend convinced me to ride it back with him the next mile to where we were staying. So we rode it in the ocean in pitch black, while a storm was out in the distance. Cool, not scary. When we got to our place, we rode it around until the sun came up, and then I found the jet ski registration, found the guy on Facebook, played the good guy, and messaged him, and told him, hey, I found your jet ski at X location on the beach, then went inside. It was a pretty thrilling experience. I don't know how illegal it was considering it was a jet ski just left in the ocean, and I returned it, but it was still pretty fun. Edit, wow, this blew up smiley face. Edit 2, so I left out the part where I tried to start the jet ski, but it didn't start. It was pretty stressful, because the waves were pretty big and I wasn't wearing swimming clothing. So when it didn't start, we walked a mile to a gas station, and filled a Gatorade bottle with gas, got an Uber back to the jet ski, filled the jet ski with gas, and it still didn't start. I then realized the Q-off switch was set to off instead of on. And I should have checked this, because I have my own jet ski, but I forgot to check it. Thanks alcohol. So we wasted way too much time getting gas. Technically, it never left the ocean, so Steele's car, technically it never left the road. I stole a piece of obsidian from biology class. At the next lesson, biology teacher came to our classroom and forced us to admit who stole an obsidian. But I didn't. Why were you looking at obsidian in biology class? Edit. Please stop responding about the White Walkers and nether portals. The joke has been made already. Numerous times. Edit 2. Scalpels have also been mentioned.